I did not know I'd be sitting in front of a seal speaking to news cameras, so this is not my wheelhouse. But, speaking about people who oppose marriage equality, it's certainly something I have dealt with, every day of my life, and now being in the public eye, I certainly deal with it very directly. It's something that I've grown a thick skin for. I certainly respect everyone's right to their own opinion, but I think at the end of the day, we have to all agree that treating any American as a second-class citizen is just not okay.
That is the actor Jesse Tyler Ferguson. He is an openly gay actor on a sitcom called Modern Family. What Jesse Tyler Ferguson was doing in that clip was lobbying the state of Illinois on gay rights, trying to get that reliably blue state to legalize same-sex marriage. It's not a big shock, right? Handsome, well-known celebrity-type person with attractive beard, supporting equal marriage rights for same-sex couples, making that case in a bedrock democratic state. It's almost a cliche, right? That's every social conservative's view of how this issue works. In Illinois, even the head of the Republican Party said that Republicans should support same-sex marriage. He said, quote, "I think it's time for people to support this." Right? Because it's Illinois. It's Illinois. It's Obama-stan. Of course, even the Republicans there are for gay marriage, you'd think. Except when the chairman of the Illinois Republican Party came out and said that thing in favor of gay marriage, the whole rest of the Illinois Republican Party got furious with him. And they essentially forced him out as chairman of the Republican Party in the state because he supported gay rights. He ended up resigning not long after those comments and the furor they caused among his fellow Republicans. So that happened this year in Illinois. Illinois, which we think of as being somewhere in line with Massachusetts and Vermont and California in the race to be the deepest of deep blue states, right? It's weird. Well, if you head a couple states south of Illinois and a little to the right, you will find yourself in the great state of Alabama, which is not a blue state. It is not even close, not even remotely purple, crimson tide and all that. Well, in Alabama on this issue, something weird has also just happened. After the pro-gay marriage rulings from the Supreme Court earlier this summer, the chair of the Alabama College Republicans came out in support of what the Supreme Court did. She came out in support of marriage equality in Alabama. In Alabama Republican politics. She even went so far as to criticize the record of harsh anti-gay rhetoric from her fellow Republicans, saying, quote, "We are not governed by we are governed by the Constitution and not the Bible." Alabama Republicans did not see that coming, right? Once that happened, though, what happened next was probably inevitable. The old muckety-mucks in the state Republican Party decided that maybe this upstart president of the college Republicans needed to feel the wrath of a little Republican Party purge. They decided they would set out new bylaws requiring that anybody in a job like, say, being head of the college Republicans in the state would have to agree with everything in the Republican Party's national platform. No dissent allowed. If you did not agree with the National Party's anti-gay official platform, you could not be in a leadership role in the state. So, college Republican president says something shockingly not anti-gay. Alabama party elders decide to change the rules of the party so as to allow themselves to kick her out of her job for not holding that anti-gay enough views. And this weekend, the party voted on this issue, and they decided that they would side with the president of the college Republicans. In Alabama. Alabama Republicans voted not to change their rules to allow themselves to fire her. So she gets to keep her job. And that means if you are keeping score at home, Republicans in Alabama, it turns out, are less anti-gay than Republicans in Illinois. Go figure. This is a super interesting, super unpredictable moment in our politics. I mean, the map of states with marriage equality is a pretty blue map. It's pretty much a blue state map. But a lot of what's going to happen in terms of determining what becomes of this map, how this map changes, is not just whether the state votes red or blue overall. It's what happens internally inside the state in Republican Party politics, in the remaining states that still don't have equal marriage rights. I mean, mostly, with some exceptions, but mostly Democrats are on board with marriage equality now. Republicans are the ones who are all over the map and changing fast and changing in unpredictable ways and in unpredictable places. And those internal Republican dynamics, which we will be learning about and we will be surprised by one red state at a time all over the country, those are going to be the determining force for what happens in this major civil rights issue in our country right now. Which is why it makes sense that when the ACLU decided to hire a new strategist to try to flip more states into being pro-marriage equality, they did not hire a Democrat, they hired a Republican. They hired a major league, hugely respected Republican heavyweight strategist to try to flip more states into supporting marriage equality. They don't need a Democrat. They need a Republican, because that's where it's all happening right now. And the Republican strategist they picked to do this, state by state, is Steve Schmidt. Steve Schmidt, who you know and love from this program. The ACLU has hired Steve to nudge Republicans across the country toward marriage equality in states that do not yet recognize it. And Steve Schmidt joins us tomorrow night to talk about that big, unpredictable, fascinating project that he is right in the middle of. Watch this space.